It's time for another Dice Tower review with Trent Howell.
Alright, Dad, what game are we playing today?
Today we are playing Battlestar Galactica, the board game.
Ooh.
Woohoo.
What's it about?
Well, as you can see, it's a space theme. This is actually based off of a TV series, but the good thing about it is you don't have to have seen the TV series to enjoy this game because it's a cooperative game full of lots of intrigue with traitors amongst you that you've got to figure out. As you can see on the board, there's a lot going on. Plenty of it. So I'm actually going to first just go over what I think about the game, why we like it, and then I'll dive into a turn if you want to keep watching to see a little bit more. So the theme of Battlestar Galactica is that this is the last of the human race. Their planets have been destroyed by the Cylons. Cylons were actually created by humans and have taken human form, and so they're amongst us and we don't know even who they are. So even amongst us there's going to be some Cylons or some of the traitors. But we're on this fledgling fleet of the Battlestar Galactica. Also, there's a Colonial 1 ship here, which is the President's ship. We're going to have some civilian ships that we have to save. There's a lot going on in the game, and it's just so immersive. It's fantastic. So this isn't a game that we play a lot because, first off, I'll tell you, it's about a 2 to 3 hour game. It plays up to 6 players, and we like playing with more because there's more intrigue. And so when we do that, it's just less frequent that we play it. But when we do, you totally get into the game, which is just fantastic. What you're trying to do as the humans is you're trying to get to your destination of Cobol. And the way you do that is by jumping the fleet. Think of it like light speed. It's actually faster than light speed or hyperdrive, where you jump away a number of times to go to certain distances. And then if you achieve that, you win. The humans are victorious. However, there's a way, and in most cooperative games, that the traitors or the Cylons could win, and they're going to be trying to do a lot of things. You can see over here you got fuel, food, morale, population. Those dials are going to be going down, and if they ever hit 0, the humans lose. If any one of them hits 0, the humans lose. Oh. If the Cylons come aboard, their Centurion guards come on, and if they march along, you get to a spot where the humans lose. Or if the ship itself has 6 positions that are damaged, that take on damage from the Cylons, you also lose. So there's a lot of ways that the traitors are going to win this game. So it's a battle all the time. So the reason we like it is because it's just tense. Like I said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of guessing who is who, and that's just fun. We just really like that. A few other things I'll say right up front is everybody's going to be different characters. They're going to have different abilities. You're going to do different things on the ship with different missions and stuff, or you can be aboard the President's ship or Colonial 1 doing a few things. Or if you're revealed to be reveal yourself as a traitor or a Cylon, then you kind of do things over here to destroy everybody. But you don't have to reveal yourself as a Cylon to wreak havoc, because that's what's so cool about this is there are going to be skills checks along the way that everybody contributes these skills cards down here. You're going to contribute skills cards to skills checks. They're going to have numbers on them that will either go against or go for a skills check, and you're going to be able to put those in secretly when there's a voting, and then when it's revealed, if you don't pass the skills check, typically bad things happen. So you're going to lose morale, lose population if you don't pass the skills check. But because people are throwing in cards secretly, you don't know who the traitor is, so there's a lot of accusation, a lot going on, and that just makes it a ton of fun. The other cool thing about the traitor mechanic in this one that I like over other cooperative games is halfway through the game, as you can see, once you get halfway to the human destination of winning, there's a sleeper agent phase. What that means is exactly this. At the start of the game, everybody is dealt, secretly of course, either you're a Cylon or you're not a Cylon cards. So based off of the number of players, those are going to be handed out. People look at them and they'll say, I'm not a Cylon. Great. Or they may say, I am a Cylon. That's cool. But halfway through the game, you deal out more cards. So halfway through the game, everybody gets a second loyalty card. And if that's the case, and you get one that says you're a Cylon, you are now a Cylon.
So I could completely change my objective halfway through the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But you want to keep it a secret, because if you're now a Cylon, you want them to lose, so you don't want them to know that you're a Cylon. You can be accusing other people. You can be taking, as you can see over here, there's President's and Admiral cards, and a President's got his own deck of special actions that he can take. So you could be accusing him of being a Cylon, you could be accusing the Admiral, you can throw them in prison, or in the brig, essentially. And then they're going to have less ability to do their thing. So if you're the Cylon, you can be wrecking havoc that way. But there's just so much going on. So overall, as you can see, it's immersive. I've just touched on a little bit right now of the general feel of the game, what the mode is. And I would say overall, I'd give Battlestar Galactica a 4.5 out of 5.
Sounds like you like it.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those that it can sit and say, oh, when are we going to play that again? When are we going to play that again? And we've kind of made it an event. So, for example, Thanksgiving break, where we've got a long weekend, it's perfect. We're going to play Battlestar Galactica, because that's when we can get more people together for a longer period of time, and it's just a lot of fun. And at the end, you got to step back and just take a breath, because there was a lot of tension the whole time, the whole couple hours, and I love it.
All right, Dad. How about now you tell us more about turn play?
All right, let's do that. Let's dive into it a little bit more. So I'll give you more detail about how it plays out now. So at the start of the game, everyone is going to take their character card. They're going to choose it based off of what they want. You know, military leader, political leader, you've got support, you've got pilots. You're going to take your character card, and every character has different abilities that they can do. They've got different skills, and they've got different things that they can do typically once a game, which is just cool. Everybody takes those. They place their pieces out on the board. On their card, it tells them where they're going to start. So, for example, Adama, he's going to start in the Admiral's quarters. You can see exactly that. And there's things that he can and can't do. And then, for example, another character like this, his son, is actually out, Apollo is actually piloting one of the Viper ships out there to fight. So you've got some other bad things happening out there. Then everyone's going to be dealt a loyalty card. So, depending on how many people are in the game, so if there's 6 players, for example, you'll put 2 silent cards in there, and then you'll put in a bunch of, I can't remember total quantity, I think you got total 11 cards. You'll throw in those, plus throw in a sympathizer card, which I think I've got in there. You shuffle all these around, and then half of those get dealt out for the loyalty cards. So everybody is going to, I think there was one more that needed to be in there. You'll deal out loyalty cards. Everybody see what they are. For this one, for example, both you are a Cylon's got in the mix. So these people are going to know that they're a Cylon right from the beginning of the game. Ooh, intrigue. All right, after everybody has their loyalty cards dealt out, this is the start player. So you go ahead and get that. Say I would go first, for example, and we have a fancy little cheat sheet here that you can see. So the first thing someone does on their turn, for example, if I'm Adama, I will get to take my skills cards. So I'll take 3 leadership cards, and I'll take 2 tactics cards. And as I showed before, what these look like, they're going to have different numbers, different values, different actions that are on them. So I'll take those and have them into my hand of cards that I don't need to show anybody. And then I'll move. So I can move to a different location depending on what I want to do. There's a lot of different actions. For example, in weapons control here, I can be using Galactica to shoot on some of the Cylon ships. There's other things you can do in communications. There's other things you can do in the lab, in the hangar deck. You can get yourself out in a Viper if you're a pilot. You can attack in this one, essentially, if there's Centurions on board. You can be sent to prison. Sometimes you're going to be what you're on is going to be destroyed. You'll end up in sickbay. Or you can be up here, like I said, in the President's area. You can be drawing more skills cards. If you're President, you can be drawing more of your President cards. Or you can be trying to overthrow the President and vote other people in to be the President, which is a skill check in and of its own. So when you move to a spot, you take an action. You can either take the action of the spot, you can do an action that's on your character card, or you can do actions of what you've got in your hand. After you've taken your action, then the bad things happen. Here's where the bad things happen. This one, for example, Ooh, that's a bad one. This one says the president chooses. We've got a water shortage and the president's going to choose. You can either lose one food or the president has to give up 2 skills cards and the current player has to give up 3 skills cards. So the president's going to choose, what should we do? We should take a food or not? Well, if he's a Cylon, he may want to do one or the other. So then we can accuse him of being a Cylon, etc. So he's got to choose that. Another card may be this one. The Admiral chooses to lose population, or he's going to lose some morale and some other things going on. Another one here is the skills check I was talking about. So the way a skills check works, it tells you a number up here, and it tells you what colors or what types of skills will contribute to that skills check. So the way the skills check works is everybody takes from their hand of cards, they're going to choose whatever cards they want to put in towards that skills check. So if I'm a human and I want it to pass, I'm going to put in some of my yellow, green, or purple cards. So I may throw in that card, the next guy may throw in some cards, everybody throws in some cards. Let's say a few more cards get thrown in just for fun for the mix. And then you also take what everybody else puts in, you also take 2 from the Destiny deck. This is where it keeps more of that intrigue. You'll shuffle those around and you'll reveal to see what it came up with. Everything with those colors of yellow, green, and purple. So these yellow and green are going to count towards it. Blue and red will count against it. You add up the numbers, you got 3, and you got 6 against and 3 for. So this one failed. So if we had passed, there wasn't any effect. If we got partially there, we'd lose food. But since we failed, we lose food and we lose fuel. Boom, boom, boom. That goes down, food goes down. Bad things. We must think that there's some Cylons on because the Destiny deck's only pulling 2 cards out and 3 of these cards went against it. So there must be a Cylon that's trying to thwart the plans of what's going on. So that's how a skills check works. Another bad card, for example, there's another skills check. This one says that, you got to put out a new base star, some more raiders, and some heavy raiders that are now going to be out there. Some more Vipers and civilian ships are also put out there, so there's more battles going on around us. After you've resolved the crisis, this is going to happen. So in this case, it says the raiders were going to move. So these raiders will follow their plan, which they're headed towards civilian ships. They're going to move into this space. If they were already in this space, they're going to attack the Vipers. If there's some civilian items in there, they're going to attack the civilians. If there weren't any Vipers around, you're going to flip that over because they're attacking it, and you've just lost population and you've just lost fuel. So you definitely don't want these guys attacking your civilian ships. You want to be there and attacking them. After this resolves, you look to see if you jump. This one, in this case, you don't. Or if you move on the jump track, I should say. In this case, it says yes, you move on the jump track. So that means this moves over 1. So now that I'm on moving along to the jump, once this gets far enough along, obviously you got to have enough people take their turns to the auto jump stage, then we're jumping. The fleet is jumping. We're going faster than light speed. What happens there is whoever the admiral is at the time, that's where you got this admiral card, whoever the admiral is, takes these 2 cards, secretly looks at them, I'll show them to you, and they have numbers on here. These tell you how far you're going to jump. So this one is great. You could jump really far. You could get closer to your destination, but you're going to lose 3 fuel. Or this one, it doesn't jump you as far, but the risks aren't as bad. So you can do that. As an admiral, you secretly choose this. If I put this one out with just 1, now people are going to accuse me of being a Cylon because we didn't get there very far. The other one goes back under the deck. And then we jump. When we jump, all of these bad boys, basically we've got faster than light speed, we've escaped all the enemies, everybody comes back in their reserves, Dominick's back in the hangar deck, the civilian ships are also gone. So now that's all wiped clean. Whew! No more battles out in space, that's pretty good. We'll just discard those cards. And we can breathe a sigh of relief until we get to accusing other people of being traitors, what's going on there, and then a lot more fun ensues until we run across another one where more base stars, more bad things are going to happen. Another thing that could happen, for example, showed down here, is the base star. If there was a base star out there, he's going to fire on the ships. Another one that could happen is the heavy raiders move. That's these ships right here. These are different. These don't make any battle with anybody. All they're trying to do is make their way over to the hangar deck. If the heavy raiders start their turn on the hangar deck space, they get their Centurion guards have now boarded Galactica. And next time a heavy raider is activated, they're going to move along. And they're going to keep moving along until the humans lose. The only way you can fight them is down here in the armory, where you could try to attack the Centurion that's on the boarding track. And when you roll, you're going to have to get a 7 or 8 on an 8-sided dice in order to destroy him. So if I rolled that 8, we're safe. That one's destroyed. The humans can live a couple more days. So that's one thing you've got to watch out for as well. So those are all bad things that can happen on the crisis cards. After those crises have been resolved, like I said, if you're on the jump track, you can move. If things are happening really bad out there and you only get partially along this jump track, you can move over to the faster than light speed action and you can activate it once you're in these blue spaces. The problem is if you activate it here, you risk losing 3 population. You're going to have to roll the dice and see how you do. If you jump here, you can roll the dice, but if you fail, then you're just going to lose 1 population. So those are ways you can jump early if things are getting really bad, but you run the risk of losing population. So, like I said, there's plenty of balance to worry about. Another thing that can happen is someone on their turn can reveal that they're a Cylon. So maybe it looks like the humans are really moving along. I, as a Cylon, think, okay, I can't forward anything. It's not really working bad. Maybe some morale and food are down there low, and I just want to finish them off. I'm going to reveal myself as a Cylon. In that case, then I move over to these locations, the Cylon locations. So once I've revealed as a Cylon, I'm limited in what I can do in skills checks. I can only put 1 card into those skills checks, but I can do these different actions. In addition, I'm going to get one of these super crisis cards. As you can see, the skills checks on these are tough. 18 with just green and purple. So chances are you're going to fail. In this case, damage Galactica, send 2 Centurion markers at the start of the boarding party. So this could be a big one. You're going to damage them, and you're going to get two of these bad boys starting down that track. So once I'm revealed as a Cylon, there's some other cool things I can do to try to win the game. So I think I've covered most of the things that are going on here. There's other elements, like I say, there's other special abilities that characters can have. The Admiral also has nuclear weapons that he can use. You can overthrow the President. The same thing with the Admiral. If the Admiral gets thrown in the brig, not only does he lose abilities of what he can do, whoever the Admiral is now gets passed on to the next person in succession. So overall, that's the flow of a turn. And then you pass your turn marker on over to the next guy, and he gets to do his skills checks, do his actions, resolve the crisis, and move on. And it's up like that the whole time. What I like about that is, even though it's cooperative and you're taking turns, everybody's still involved, because most likely a crisis is going to involve a skill check. So you've got to choose whether you're getting your cards in for the skill check or not, whether you're going to help or hinder what's happening. And whew, I know I talked quite a bit fast, but that's it in a nutshell.
All right, thanks, Dad.
You bet.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.